doesn't work. Oh well.
Yeah, I know it doesn't work on everybody's. I'm sorry. You can still find a fun picture, and that can be like your screensaver for, when you step away from your computer. Hey, this is what I'm looking forward to this summer. All right, so if you haven't had a chance, there's still time. There's the whole meeting for you to find your fun picture if you want to. But if not, I think we're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy end of the school year. Yay, getting close. So we know how busy things are right now. So we're glad you found some time to join us this morning. Melissa's adding the handout link to the chat box. It's a forced copy so that you'll be able to take some notes and interact with the content today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa Trask. Good to see you all.
Hi, I'm Tracy. Nice to see you.
That is not, look at me. What you just did, that is not okay. One, you are talking across.
Good morning, I'm Tony Smith.
Hey, everyone. So glad you're here. I'm Tori and Dooley Kennedy.
Okay, so our agenda for today includes, of course, BTSP expectations for the end of the year, some time with the book Practice Perfect. We had super amazing feedback last time with the Master School Sessions, so we're going to duplicate that again this year, as well as some mentor program plan work time, and then a very brief sneak peek into the program plan for 22-23.
So we're going to start off with some end of year beginning teacher support program expectations. And here are our 3 goals for this session. I'm going to give you a moment to just read those. Awesome. And we have Tony Smith here to kick us off because a lot of our beginning teachers have specific licensure requirements that they have to fulfill in order to either convert their license at the end of their 1 year or 3 years. So we want to make sure that you are clear on what they need to do so that you can support your beginning teachers and help them understand what has to be done for their individual license type.
Okay, well, I'd like to say good morning again, and I guess welcome to the May meeting. Just want to briefly just skim over the information about beginning teachers and also just share something about the licensure requirements. As you all know, anyone who has a continuing license, the licensure renewal window has opened. BPI opened that window up on April 15th. So for those people that are in their renewal year, and we know beginning teachers do not renew, beginning teachers convert, okay? And that conversion is actually done by me. So anyone that has a continuing license and they are for renewal, the renewal window is already open, and you need to go in and you need to complete the statement of applicant and also pay the processing fee. And once that's done, then the licensure case manager will go in and do his or her part after that, okay? So beginning teachers, anyone who has completed 3 years of teaching and has completed all of the BTSP requirements, you will be recommended for the continuing license. That will be handled by myself. So all 3rd-year teachers who are converting, to a continuing license. I would do that between now and hopefully between now and June, but if not, we still have the whole month of July to get it done. But third year conversion will be handled by me. Let's talk about the alternative license. So residency license. If you have a residency license or lateral entry license, you are required to make sure you affiliate with the educator preparation program. And if this is not your final year, you need to get the form REL signed so that you can be recommended to continue on. Once you get the form REL signed, then you need to submit that form REL to your licensure case manager. Then she will go in and make the request to extend your license. But we cannot extend your license without the form REL being signed. All lateral entry people who are, this is the following year, I want to emphasize May 20th. Again, May 20th is the deadline to have all documents in to Penny Power so that she can clear your lateral entry license. So if you have a permit to teach, that means that you're either going to permit that teach, you're going to convert that permit to teach license to an emergency license or to the residency license. If you don't know which type of license you have, I strongly suggest you reach out to your licensure case manager. But when you receive a license, you also receive a requirement letter that tells you what your next steps are. So if you have an emergency license, you're either going to convert, you're going to convert that permit to teach to a residence, to an emergency license or that other residency license. And those are the requirements that the beginning teachers must meet in order to qualify for the next type license. The emergency license. You have no other choice but convert the emergency license to a residency license. And in order to do that, you have to meet those requirements listed on this slide. And I will say, I have to reemphasize this every year. All alternative licenses are good for 1 year. So once you receive an alternative license, permit to teach, emergency license, or residency license, it is only good for 1 year. You have to do something every year in order to extend it. Here are the, as I just said, the alternative license. These are all of the different types of alternative license that we have. If you notice, every one of them, permit to teach, emergency license, residency license, it's an issue for 1 year, okay? Lateral entry license, no longer is being issued. Lateral entry, it's gone, sunset, done. This is the final year for lateral entry. May 20th is your deadline to get all the documents into your regional director. All right, non-renewal for license. This is information for people that have a non-renewal process in place. So if you're recommended for non-renewal, you will be receiving information between May 9th and May 11th. Explaining to you what your next steps are. If you have any next steps, every year we have, teachers go through the non-renewal process, and those teachers who do not do or fulfill their requirements, they are voted on by the board for non-renewal. Non-renewal means that you do not have or you won't have a job for the upcoming school year. So if you have any questions about non-renewals, make sure that your teachers direct those questions to the human capital partners. Okay. I guess I'll take a few seconds to see if anyone has any questions or anybody need anything clarified. Uh-oh, I'm feeling good. That means that everybody's on board. It's the same things every year. So we're getting better with understanding. But I just want to reemphasize, if you have in the lateral entry teachers, this is their final year for lateral entry. We must get that information in to the regional alternative license director by May 20th. So don't send it to the case manager on May 20th. We got it. She got to have it in the system by May 20th. Okay. So please emphasize that with your beginning teachers if they are lateral entry. No one from the State Department has said anything about extensions of license for next year. You know, we had it last year. I would not count on it. I would not count on any extensions. So please let your teachers know that they need to meet those requirements prior to the license expiring. No mention of extension, no COVID extensions, nothing at this point. Again, I want to say thank you and have a great remainder of the day.
Oh, we got a
Yes,
question
yeah.
in the chat. Okay.
That answer would be yes. Only place to get the form REL because the case manager has to sign off on it. You have to get it from the licensure case manager because you need their signature on it.
Right. Thank you so much for being here, Tony. And Tony's contact information is on the handout that you received. So even if you don't know who your licensure case manager is, but if you have a beginning teacher who has a specific question, have them email Tony and he'll get it to the right person.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. All right, so take a look at these quotations. Which one most resonates with you right now? Go ahead and drop that number in the chat and tell us why. I agree, Ashley, dinner is a chore. Number 4, Jordan, tell us why.
I am submitting my my final portfolio for grad school on tomorrow night. So I feel like the last few weeks has been a complete blur. And I haven't been able to form complete sentences. So
Thanks for sharing. Oh, the toothbrush. That's so funny, of course. Yeah, 5 happens a lot. Oh, Scott, I'm sure it was such a fun concert and well worth it. All the apps and platforms and passwords. Yep, absolutely, Keela. Amanda, that's hysterical. Yes, I spent way too much money on Amazon. This is great. Thank you so much for engaging with this, letting us into your lives a little bit and sharing with each other. So we're going to share with you, this is the data from our April 12th compliance report. So I'm sure that a lot of the things have changed since then. And the next report is actually going to be pulled tomorrow. And that report will include summative evaluations as well as end of year professional development plans for beginning teachers. So please, one of the main responsibilities of Mentor Contacts is to make sure that you're taking action each time our compliance report is pulled and provided to your school to kind of catch up on any of the things that have been missing, and especially documenting and including a record of activity for that item that was missing. This is our monitoring year. So everything we do with our beginning teachers will be reviewed by NCDPI. So we have to make sure that evaluation actions are completed and they're documented in the record of activity if they're not completed on time or as expected by NCDPI policy.
Good.
So we do want to celebrate. We have a bunch of schools who are on our 100% list at the last compliance report poll. And this is only half of the list. So if you don't see your name here, but it's alphabetical. So just give us a second. Let's take a moment to celebrate these schools. And here are the remaining schools who had 100% completion on the April compliance report. And there's a link in your handout to all the things that were expected on the April compliance report. So if you have some questions about any of the columns on that report, feel free to take a look at that link and you can reference that if you have any questions. So we love to celebrate our schools. We love to celebrate our mentors and mentor contacts. And so we put together a little treat for some of our schools who are on the 100% list. And Melissa put this together for me. I get a little container here and all the schools that were referenced are on there. So I'm going to pull a few schools' names. Tracy, tell me how many I'm allowed to pull out. So not going to look in my little box. And the first school that we want to celebrate and send something to is going to be Highland Renaissance Academy. Woo woo! So if everyone can cheer, yeah, Amanda, or give a reaction for Highland Renaissance Academy. Amanda, tell me how many beginning teachers and mentors you have.
We have 2 beginning teachers, but one of them is a teacher resident. So
Okay.
she is finishing up going through, she just submitted her EdTPA a few weeks ago and she's in the process of that. Next year, I know we've hired 2 additional beginning teachers, so we'll have a few more, but we're a really small school. So 2 beginning teachers doesn't seem like a lot for bigger schools, but we're only a school of about 350. So
Nice. All right. Well, we're going to celebrate those 2 beginning teachers that you have this year, and we're going to add some more next year. All right. Can I do another one, Tracy? She's nodding her head. Yes. Okay. My next school that I want to celebrate is End Haven Elementary. Okay. Tracy, were we going to make the person be in the meeting to get the treat? Yes. Is someone from End Haven present? Can you come off mute, or if you need to, drop it in the chat? I'll give you a second. All right, we're going to reward the people who are here today. Did I hear someone talking? All right, let's see who else. Park Road Montessori. Is someone here from Park Road Montessori?
Yes.
Yay! Woo! Kimberly, tell me how many beginning teachers you have.
We have 3.
All right, so we're going to send something out for your beginning teachers and mentors. All right, let me pick somebody. One more?
Yeah.
All right, hopefully that person's here. We're going to Turning Point Academy. Is there someone in the meeting from Turning Point? Going. All right, next one. Crestdale Middle School. All right, I'm going to keep drawing. Piney Grove Elementary. Elon Park Elementary.
That's me.
Yay! All right, Elizabeth, how many do you have?
We have 2.
All right, we're going to get something out for you as well.
Great,
Okay.
thanks.
Can I propose that we draw one more name? Because these are all schools with small numbers.
Okay, yeah. Matthews Elementary. Anyone from Matthews? All right. Going back to the drawing board. Briarwood Academy.
Woo! We have 13 beginning teachers.
There we go. Thanks, Kavivi.
Perfect.
Is that good? Thanks, Tracy.
So much fun.
All right, so we want you to take a moment because I know that you get this compliance report via email and then it gets put aside and you don't get a chance to look at it. process, reflect on it, analyze it. So we want to make sure that everybody is set, knows what their action steps are, or knows what still needs to be done to get it caught up, or what should have been done, so that when you get through tomorrow's report, you're at 100%. But there's a place for you to stop and jot in your notes on the handout. Write down, what can you celebrate about your report? What to be done? And what goal do you need to set? Who do you need to reach out to achieve it? Do you need a beginning teacher to assign an observation or a PDP? Do your mentors need to do anything? Does an administrator need to complete an observation or signature? What record of activities do you need to make sure are completed for your report? So we're gonna give you 3 minutes to just jot some notes on your handout of what are some of your action steps based on your report. All right, so hopefully you had some good planning time to just kind of set your mind, create a mindset around what needs to be accomplished for your beginning teachers before the end of the year. And of course, please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions about your report or accomplished things that need to be done for your beginning teachers. So one of the other actions that we reviewed in preparation of our state audit next year is the observation data from the end of March. And we looked at the start and end time data for teachers. State board policy says that observations should be 45 minutes for an entire class period. And out of all the beginning teacher observations that we reviewed, 80.7 of them met the state board policy for the observation length. So there were 817 observations that were less than 45 minutes. 2 had multiple times listed. So like someone went in and observed for one chunk of time and then another chunk of time, which it should be a continuous 45 minutes. 60 were missing times being listed. There were 5 outliers that were longer than 2 hours. 24 had unclear times listed, like the end time was set before the beginning time. So it was uncertain there. And then there were 3,806 that were 45 minutes in length or longer. So there is a way for you to pull a report, your principals, inside administrators to pull a report to access that information in the directions are linked in your handout. So if you're not sure that observations were done in the 45-minute length was achieved, then please make sure that your principal is pulling that report and reviewing that information and just making a note in the record of activity to add a description as to why it wasn't completed 45 minutes. And you can say a simple explanation could be observation 1 was 30 minutes because that was the length of the class period, or less than 45 minutes. So when the state audits us, they want to see that we know that there's policy that the observation should be 45 minutes. And if it's not, that it was because it was the entire class period. Or if there was something else that came up during that day, then just make a note of that for that teacher. So again, this is a reminder, you're going to get this all this year. You're all going to be experts at making sure that there's a record of activity for anything that is missed or misaligned with the state board policy. And you can access the record of activity in My Talent. Anyone who has access to the observations should be able to go in and put the note in the record of activity. Needs to be there for evaluations that were not completed according to the evaluation timeline, any professional development plans that were not signed according to the timeline, or any observation that did not meet the required length. This is what will protect your school during the audit, anything that was missing or not aligned to what the state board policy expects. And the last thing that we want to make sure that you're aware of is that the state NCDPI archives operations evaluation plans at the end of every single school year. So for this school year, they're going to be starting to archive plans on June 29th at 5 p.m. We at Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools don't have any influence over that. That's the date that the state has chosen. So after that date, we will not have access to make any changes to this year's plans. So you won't be able to go in and put in a record of activity for anybody after that date. So we're asking that you add this to your May to-do list or your early June to-do list, especially if there's a teacher that you have that is not going to be in the district next year. As soon as they terminate their your access to their My Talent account you're going to lose it. And so they could still be included in our audit next year because they were a teacher this school year, but you're not going to have access after their last day. So you want to make sure that everything is nice and clean before the end of the school year in case a teacher is leaving you. Even if they haven't told you they're leaving you, you never know, but you'll lose access to their account in My Talent as soon as they terminate with the district. So please make sure that everything is completed and all records of activities are done in My Talent before the end of the school year, and most definitely by June 29th.
Thank you so much, Torianne. We want to also remind you that your mentors need to complete their mentor collaboration log. Now is a good time to send a reminder to all of your mentors and make sure that it's part of their end of year checkout list or however you manage everything at the school. But this is very, very important. And this information is captured to plan professional development for beginning teachers throughout the year. And numerical information will be shared during the audit next year. So again, the mentor collaboration logs are very critical to make sure that those are completed. There is a link for mentor log directions in your handout in case you need to review those or share them with anybody at your school. And if you have a new mentor at your school, if that mentor is unsure of how to access the logs, it may be worth spending some one-on-one time with that person or people in order to get them up to date. Remember that mentor collaboration logs should be confidential between the mentor and the mentee. And so that is the thing we get a lot of questions about. Mentor contacts reach out to us and say, hey, can you please verify that so-and-so has done their mentor collaboration log? Well, we don't verify that because it's confidential between those two parties. We're also never going to be able to verify what they're saying in those collaboration logs because even we don't have access to that either because that is protected information just between those two parties. So you should not ever ask to see what is written, even though you're going to want to check for compliance sake to make sure that those things have been completed. Please be mindful of your ask around that. And instead of wording it as, pull up your collaboration logs and let me see what you've been typing, maybe just have them verify I've filled it out this many times. And that would be a more appropriate ask and will protect that confidentiality. So thinking about your experienced teachers who are third-year teachers and would be great supports for beginning teachers, you might even want to jot a list right now as you're thinking forward into next year. Your third-year teachers that are getting ready to roll out of beginning teacher support and roll into some leadership roles. So a retention strategy that you can use with experienced teachers is to motivate them to share their experience to impact what we call the next generation of teachers. And the Talent Acquisition Department has created this awesome resource that you can share with teachers who would like to serve in any type of leadership role next year. We realize this is not for everybody, so there might be a personal invitation attached to handing this flyer to somebody, but there definitely probably are people in your school that would serve as great mentors for beginning teachers, or even clinical educators for the CMS teaching residency, or clinical educators for student teachers. And if you look at your handout, there is a link to this flyer. And again, this might be a great personal invitation to some people who are ready to fill those leadership roles. It is expected that beginning teachers are paired with, and this is verbatim, excellent, experienced, and qualified teachers to serve as their mentors. That comes from the state board policy. Experienced teachers are eligible to serve as mentors if they have taught for more than 3 years, or at least 3 years, and they have to have proficient or better ratings on their most recent summative. And most recent means in the last 2 years. They have to complete the required mentor training online. And retired teachers can also serve as mentors. So remember that if you have any retired teachers that you partner with. Mentors have to be evaluated on the NESIS teacher standards. So their observation tool has to match the person they're mentoring. So for example, I could not mentor an assistant principal because an assistant principal has a different evaluation tool than I do. If I were an MCL, I could not serve as a mentor because I'm on a different evaluation tool, and they have to be peers, which is defined through the tool that they're evaluated on. Priority to mentors should be given to teachers who have overall accomplished ratings, and teachers who have overall proficient ratings will need justification made in your school's mentor program plan. They can still serve as mentors as long as you justify it in that mentor program plan. There is a required mentor training, again, that all mentors need to complete if they haven't done it since July of 2010. That's a one-shot deal. So if they've done it, if they had done it prior to 2010, we reached out to them and got them modernized. But as long as they've done it once since 2010, they don't have to redo it. A lot of people like to redo it just as a refresher, and that's absolutely fine. But you do not have to require them to do it again as long as they've done it once. It should be on their transcript in My Talent, but if you ever need verification of that, you can also reach out to us and we can verify who your qualified mentors are. So the thing to jot down with this slide, the most important piece of information that we want you to take away from mentor qualifications is that summative evaluations for experienced teachers who might be serving as mentors next year are absolutely critical. If they don't have a summative on file, they cannot serve as a mentor. And that creates a hardship for a lot of our schools, especially in light of COVID. Shouldn't be a problem anymore. All right. So we have planned a way to give mentors credit for learning more about leadership through serving as a mentor. And this is super duper exciting because we're always looking for ways to incentivize the role that they do just out of the kindness of their heart. We know there's no money attached. We lobby for that as well. But we're always looking for new ways that we can make sure that they are receiving some sort of incentive for their mentoring. So take a moment to copy the link in your packet to the credit form and email this to all of your mentors. I think that'll be going in the chat box in just a second too. If they can attest to the statements included indicating that they served as a mentor this year, met with their mentee a minimum of 1 hour each month, that's minimum, completed the required courses and upheld the mentor responsibilities, and if they've signed the mentor contract. So it's a lot of things they've had to do, but they've gotten tons of reminders from our department. But if they have done all those things, we're going to equate that to 10 hours and they're going to get 1 CEU in content area for this school year, which is a big deal because they need that for recertification process. The mentor credit attestation form will only be open through May 13th as indicated on the screen. So you're going to want to make sure to get that out to your mentors right away. And now this is what we call in our department a 2-minute task. If you have ever been trained on getting things done, you know all about 2-minute tasks. If you have not, I highly recommend you add that to your reading log or trainings to sign up for. It's amazing. But we want to give you the 2 minutes. We're actually going to give you 3 minutes so that you can email your mentors right now, letting them know that they can receive credit and including that link in an email to them. So we're going to start the timer and go on mute and allow you to take care of this task right now so you don't have to do it later. And if you have any questions during this time, feel free to drop those in the chat box and we'll monitor that as well.
Hey, Amanda, that's a great question. And we haven't really discussed that as a team, but one of the questions on the form says, I've certified that I've met with my mentee a minimum of 1 hour each month of the school year. So tell that person to just click no, and then we'll figure out the variety or maybe even reach out and say, how many months did you serve as a mentor to adjust the amount of credit they receive?
Okay, thank you.
Don't forget.
I have a question about the form. If I'm a mentor and I just filled it out, now I can't make a copy and send it to my mentors. Because it said it's like completed. And so I can't send like another blank copy to email to my mentors because I also am a mentor. How do I do that?
Melissa, Tracy? If you send it to them though, or if you grab the link from the handout, can you send them that link? And
And
when
then
they
when
click
they-
on it, they should be able to access it, I think, right?
Yes, that's what I was going to say too. We have it set up so everybody can respond one time to it. So Chelsea, I would go ahead and send it and they should be able to respond to it.
Okay,
You're
sounds
logging
good.
in with different access.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I might just like test it with a mentor and be like, did you get this? Can you see it? And see if they got it. Okay, thank you.
It was
Thank you.
also, so the BT Meet is coming out today, and I'm pretty sure that this is included in that newsletter, so you can reference that for your mentors as well.
You are 100% right. And that'll actually be coming out while everybody's here in just a little bit so that you have the mentor issue handy, the mentor contact issue handy. Did our timer go off? It did. That's what that little squeak was. All right. So hopefully you got that 2-minute task completed. If not, jot it on a sticky note so you can make sure to follow up on that. We want to talk just a little bit about the NCDPI surveys that are coming out or were supposed to have come out, but might kind of be pending a little bit as well. We haven't gotten an update that I'm aware of unless it happened over the weekend. But one of the surveys that they will be sending out is about recent graduates, and it's going to be administered to every single first-year teacher in the district. Sometimes DPI, because they're not perfect, they're close, but they're not perfect. Sometimes it goes out to a teacher who is not a first-year teacher, and it's okay because we work behind the scenes to get all that cleaned up. But it is required by state board policy, and that's listed on the screen, that every first-year teacher fill this out, as well as every principal of a first-year teacher. So if I am a principal and I have 12 first-year teachers, I'm going to get 12 surveys, one for each of them. Now, what happened last year, because it was the first year that it ever went out, we got an amazing response rate from the district, but because principals had never seen it, and honestly, they were sick of being surveyed about all the things, and a lot of people deleted it, or it went to their junk. They need to be on the lookout for this recent graduate survey. And we've been informing them, and information will be in our newsletter about it as well. And we'll follow up to let you know what your response rates are looking like. And we'll definitely include mentor contacts on that because we know that you play a pivotal role. But again, it must be filled out. It's part of state board policy. They were supposed to be emailed out to beginning teachers and principals on April 25th, and I'm working to confirm that with a couple of our principals, but so far have not gotten any confirmation that they've received those. So please just put your principal and first-year teachers on the lookout if you would.
All right, so in a moment, we're going to put you into breakout rooms and take a look at your breakout room name. You'll either be assigned to the mentor contact room, the mentor room, or the beginning teacher room. And we'd like for you to look at the associated responsibilities document. All of them are linked in your handout, and discuss with your groups your likes and your wishes for that document. Choose one person in your group to document your group's ideas on a Jamboard. You'll have 10 minutes in your breakout room, and any feedback that we receive will be used to inform or update these documents for the 22-23 school year. Does anyone have any questions before I open up the breakout rooms? So again, take a look at the name and focus on that document. If you still have time and you want to look at the other ones, or if you have a strong opinion or some feedback about one of the ones that you've been using this year, feel free to put it on that specific Jamboard. And if not, we'll see you back here in 10 minutes.
That is awesome, Amanda. I mean, that's that.
Quick question.
Yes.
The Jamboard numbers, like 1 through 4, 1 through 5, the number indicated our group, right?
No, so it was all like the one says mentor contact responsibilities. So all the things for mentor contact should be on that
Okay.
JAM. And then one says mentor and one says beginning teacher.
Okay,
So the groups were just so that they weren't like 10 people in a room. We broke up mentor contact group 1, mentor contact group 2, mentor contact group 3.
okay.
And go ahead, like if you have any other lingering ideas or wishes to capture, make sure you document them. You'll have access to the Jamboard after this meeting. So if you get feedback from your mentors or even your beginning teachers, you can add to this document.
Another question, Tori Ann, I don't mean to get off subject. One of the things that we brought up in the meeting was our line item for BTSP. Okay, a lot of people don't know that, and they're spending their own money, that there's a line item.
What do you mean a line item for BTSP?
In the budget, there's money in the budget for when we're doing things with our beginning teachers.
For your school?
Mhm.
Yes.
So is that according to each, does that depend on the school?
I'm
Or is that
not
for every
comment
school?
on that. LaDonna, I'll follow up with you because I don't think standard wise, everybody gets BTSP money. Now we do send out from our department, but it's not exclusive of beginning teachers. We send out professional development money every year. It can be used for BTSP, but it can also be used for all teachers. I am not aware of a budget line that is specifically for beginning teachers, although some schools may create that individually. But I'd love to hear more about that, LaDonna, because that might be really, really helpful to some other schools. But that's not a standard practice across the district that I'm aware of. But I'm going to follow up with you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all so much for your feedback. We're going to use that to inform our updates to this document, which they are updated every single year based on feedback. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Tori Ann. Well, we want to make sure that we're communicating different opportunities that exist for beginning teachers, especially when money is tied in. So they have an awesome opportunity to join New Teacher Institute, which is scheduled for June 14th for Title I schools and June 15th for non-Title I schools. Registration is currently closed and there is an associated waiting list. But if you have a beginning teacher that might be interested in being added to the waiting list, they can email Amy Wagner, and that email address was just dropped in the chat box. This is a super well-received opportunity for teachers to reflect on the 21-22 school year and start planning for the next school year. It's a lot of, well, it is all teacher-led professional development with some additional keynote speakers and inspiration added in. It's a wonderful opportunity for them to network, and we are most excited to be back in person with this event. And again, there is a stipend attached for anybody who attends, so that's really exciting. All right, let's talk all things NTX. And the breakout group that I was in was already planning for this at the school-based level, which is so super exciting and just music to our ears. So NTX for all beginning teachers will be the 9th, 10th, and 11th of August. But based on principal feedback and your feedback, we've also included a time for school-based orientation during those 3 days. So Thursday, August 11th from 1:30 to 3, your teachers will report to your school. That'll be all teachers that are brand new to the profession because they are required. And then you can invite teachers who are new to CMS if you would like to. So this is going to be part of their requirement. It will be followed by a closing ceremony on Zoom that will happen from 3 to 4. So you'll want to be able to set them up in a space where you can maybe pull it up on the smart board or something. There is a checklist and an optional slide deck that we've put together for you in case it informs what you want to share. The slide deck just matches our theme of NTX, and the checklist is just best practice for things that might need to be communicated to new teachers, but you may have additional ideas that are specific to your school. So those are just guidelines. You can tweak that however you want to best meet the needs of your school. All right, so all of that is in your handout and you can check that out now if you want to. School leaders should communicate directly with beginning teachers regarding the logistics of this site-based event. We will not be able to tell them like, oh, hey, you teach at Westerly Hills, so you're gonna need to be there at 1:30 and here's what you're gonna need to bring with you and where. We can only tell them what time to be at the school, but all other logistics, like what room to report to and everything, they do reach out to us on that and we're gonna refer them back to you. So anything that you can communicate in advance is really helpful and helps curb any stress that the new teacher is experiencing. You will be able to access a list of your beginning teachers who will be invited to attend via the admin portal. And that will be in the newsletter that your principals received today as well. And you will have access to that admin portal and you can monitor throughout the summer who the new teachers that are expected to attend NTX are. And as always, if you have questions, you're welcome to reach out to us. So attendance at school-based orientation is also tracked and it is included as part of the new teacher's requirement. So everyone who attends, including beginning teachers, mentors, school leaders, facilitators, whoever you include on that, should complete the attendance form. And this is an awesome opportunity to have mentors attend with the beginning teachers so they're hearing the same information and can meet together before the school year actually starts. We really appreciate your engagement this morning, and we invite you to add any questions you have in the chat box right now so we can stay on and answer them for a little bit, or you're welcome to email us directly, and we'll hang out here over your break in case you have any questions that we can answer directly. But it was great to see you, and we look forward to the opportunity to be back in person with you guys soon. Thank you.
All right, I do have a question.
Awesome. Hold that for just 1 second so Tracy can and Melissa can start break time and we'll stay on with you, Jasmine.
Sounds good.
Jasmine, what is up?
Hey, so my question has to do with when we will be receiving the mentor breakdown sheet. So like, I kind of already know who we've recommended. I did all the reach out before time to let them know about school-based orientation, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think at that time I had our qualified mentor. Is it changed from year to year, or is it going to be the same list?
So the qualified mentor list is not always available at the time that we would like it to because we have to collaborate with some other departments. But I'm going to jot down on our list to speak with that other department in talent acquisition if we can get that out sooner. Is that pretty much what your ask is? That you would like it?
Yeah, because I don't know how I'm going to be able to invite the mentors if I'm not sure, you know, of a definite list of who they can be.
The tough part, we try to, we have to wait because teachers don't transfer positions until the new school year starts. So if you have someone coming into Chambers, they're still at their old school until August 17th this year, and then they're officially at your school. So we've got to speed up some other processes in HR where they get pushed to the new schools, and then we can generate our list. So that's why you'll get like several copies of your list in August, September, October. So we do have a goal to get that out to you in August, but we wait until HR does their system transfer, which doesn't happen until after the last August payroll.
Okay.
Now, if you want to start pairing them, you know, you can look at their summatives and say, okay, like this person had all accomplished, they're going to be a great fit. This person had all proficient, but we know that they're going to be a great mentor. I'll just justify them on the mentor program plan. So you can start looking that way, but that official list, it goes with Torian's explanation.
Okay, great. Also, one more thing, and then I'm going to be quiet. Can I get the link to, or was it, which email was it sent to? The link to the slideshow that has all the dates and stuff in it, or a sheet?
Yeah, we can. dates for,
The information that we just went through with all the dates, I think you guys mentioned that we can go back and look at it later. So I was trying to go back and look at it now.
okay, no problem. Is that a handout?
Are you looking for the link to this slideshow that you're following along?
Yes, or the handout.
Okay, yeah, I'll drop the handout link in the chat, and then Tracy will send out the link to today's presentation tomorrow along with the.
Okay, thank you.
And I have a question, Ms. Scholes, the slide right before this one, you had a checklist fitly. I wasn't able to see that. Can you put that back up, please? Or either put it in the chat.
I'm gonna put that in the chat for you.
Okay. I got the school-based, I have the school-based orientation, but the one that said checklist, I did not get.
The one that said checklist, got it. I think it's in the handout, but I am going to double check. Make it easy, give it to you directly right now to you. Memo that went to Simple. It's got the link to the mutation.
Thank you.
No, it's gonna be 11. Yeah, it's on. Basically. Okie doke. So, hope that everybody had a chance to kind of get a little snack and maybe a beverage, some coffee. I mentioned earlier that in the feedback from the March Mentor Contact meeting, we had some really amazing comments, some very positive feedback on having asked the master schools to share some amazing information with you guys via kind of a them doing some rotations with some work that they're doing in the building. So because of that, we thought we'd duplicate it this year. Excuse me, this month of the month of May. So we're going to do that. We're going to have 4 different sessions. So this is a nice little visual that kind of will help you, but 4 different sessions. Sterling will do a session, Piedmont will do a session, Briarwood will do a session, and Metro will do a session. In your hand, excuse me, sorry. In your handout, you'll see a place to take some notes. And also you can kind of plan as you go, or you can always go back to that later if you need to kind of follow up. There's also a link or links to each one of the school's documents that they're going to be sharing. So we're going to take a look really quickly at the role specifically of the mentor contact. So that's everyone who is attending this session here today. So mentor contacts, take a look at this screen. I want to highlight that I'm going to randomly place you guys, the mentor contacts, into breakout rooms, and you're going to stay in your room the entire time. You will not move. Others will move. So mentor contacts, you don't have to worry about anything. Once you are automatically placed in your room, you just kind of stay there. We're going to provide enough time during these breakout sessions that you will be able to hear from all 4 schools, about 10 minutes each, but we're going to add a little bit of time in there so that we can move the master school leads and the beginning teacher development and support folks into the rooms that they're supposed to be in. So again, so mentor contacts, you are not going to move. Master school leads from Metro, Piedmont, Briarwood, and who did I leave out? Sterling. We will place you into your rooms at the beginning and at the end of each session. So you don't have to do anything. We're going to move you automatically. And the 4 folks from our team, BTDNS, that said that they would volunteer to support the sessions, we will also move you in to the correct room, and you will stay there as well.
Some norms to follow when you're in your rooms. If you will make sure that you're engaging with the topic and presenters. We recognize how busy everybody is, especially this time of year. So please feel free to engage with your presenters, ask questions, and just be an active participant. If you will also, along with that, ensure your equity of voice. So just make sure that everybody's getting a chance to take turns sharing. Maintain your professionalism. And like Tracy just mentioned, we left you spots that you can take notes when you're in your sessions. It will help you because in a little while, you'll have some time that you can work on your mentor program plans. So you'll be able to go back to the notes that you took in each of your sessions to use that to actually do some planning for the end of year.
All right, give me a second.
Thank you for that, Kabibi. So while Tracy's getting the room set up, if you just want to make sure you've got your packets ready, you know where you want to put your notes, and we'll be ready to go in a minute.
Okay. Here we go, guys. Make sure if you are a BTDNS person who's going to support, don't accept the invite into your room right yet. We'll move you. And master school leads, also when you get the invite to go to a room, don't accept, we will move you ourselves as well. Here we go.
Karen, I'm going to move you to room 2 right now.
Okay.
And Christine Ward, I'm going to move you and you'll just stay in room 2 that whole time as the sessions go through.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, did everybody get an invite? Because
I did not, no.
I did not, no.
Allison,
I
yeah.
didn't either.
I didn't either.
I did not.
okay, thanks.
No.
Tracy, are you just randomly putting,
Well,
assigning
I
them
guess I'm
then?
gonna have to, because the fact that there were all the rooms in there from last time, when I was trying to change them, I guess it left a few people in, but didn't reassign everybody.
I got kicked out.
Carol, I'll move you to room. Oh,
I got her.
perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Great job, ladies.
All right, I'm running to the bathroom. I'll be right back. How
I know,
long
I
are they
got
in
you
there?
too. Yeah.
Tracy, do you want to stop the recording?
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much, Master Schools. I know that I can speak for everybody in saying we appreciate so much what you did to make today happen. Thank you so much for that. Is there anybody that would like to come off mute to share some of the great ideas that they picked up during these sessions?
One idea that I like, well, it was a bunch of them, but one that I like, the last group, they had a session and they said this session is for standard 5, the reflection section. And, you know, they had a whole reflection piece. So it's like 2 things I like. I like their activity, but I also like that in the session, it clearly linked to the evaluation standard. So it was I think, an even clearer link between what we're doing and how this benefits you for your evaluation. So I think that's a piece. I think we need to add at my school, because we always have an objective, but I've never really pointed that direct link out when we do things like what standard this connects to. But we do put it in the plan, but I've just never mentioned it to the teachers. So I thought that was great.
Thanks, Candy. That's a great takeaway.
I like how the Metro School uses, I think they use the theme of pearls of wisdom, and how the graduating class, the third year teachers were able to share some pearls of wisdom with the beginning teachers, and how they motivated the third year teachers to become mentors for the upcoming class. So I thought that was a pretty cool way to just keep everyone involved and to show them that their ideas are valued and that they have a lot to contribute to the school.
Thank you for sharing that. And I love how it celebrates those third year teachers, because that's such a big deal.
Thank you.
One other takeaway?
I liked, heard a lot of really great ideas. One idea I really liked was having the kids write thank you notes from the students to present at them at their end of year celebration. I was thinking, how sweet would that be? Have a little notebook and maybe have maybe a class of kids do it as a surprise to the teacher. I was like, because I was thinking as I'm writing down ideas that I got from each room, it gave me other ideas about how to do things at my school. So this is really great.
Thank you. That's something that teacher would hold on to forever, right? All those sweet notes. All right. Well, thank you all so much for engaging in that time. We will head into our next break. And when you come back, we'll jump into Practice Perfect. Welcome back again, everybody. This is one of the things I've been most excited for today is to conclude Practice Perfect. I don't know about you all, but I love that feeling when I finish a book, the feeling of satisfaction you get. So we really hope that you found this book helpful as you planned your Mentor PD this year. So in the conclusion, you read about these 3 parts, the Monday morning test, teaching techniques from Teach Like a Champion, and practice activities. So if you'll go to your handout right now, I'll give you a moment to locate the sentence starters that we have for you. You will be having time in breakout rooms to talk through these questions. So it's just an open chat time that you'll have together in groups. You'll have about 10 minutes. So you'll just want to make sure you leave a little bit of time to get through each of the questions. Does anybody have any questions as Tracy is getting the groups ready? Okay, perfect. You'll just want to make sure you take notes again, like we've prefaced with some earlier activities. This will be something that you might want to circle back to in the fall. So if you take your notes now, that will help you in August. Tracy, great job. That was so fast. Thank you.
Melissa, why do you look like you look
I look fuzzy?
you look, well, it looks like the Lord is blessing you or something.
Oh, maybe he is. It's gonna
It's
be
a little
great
bit of
Tracy, will you stop the recording, please?
yes.
One more, actually, that'll be great. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for taking that time to chat through ideas and ways that you can continue to use Practice Perfect moving forward. Now we're going to move into some work time for you all for the program plans. We have really stuck to this all year long. We've felt like it's been very beneficial time for you to have time in the mentor contact meetings to work on your mentor program plan. So we've set aside time for you, about 15 minutes to do this. You'll see some things that are listed here that you can work on. They're also listed in your handout for you to refer to also. But one of the things that would be beneficial to start with first when you go into your mentor program plan is to look at your feedback. So you'll go in and look at all the feedback that you've received because that will help you to know what things you need to either add or make adjustments to. You can also spend some time, now that you've got the great ideas for your end of year celebrations, planning what that can look like, and then also linking anything that you want to do for your end of year. So we'll go ahead and give you 15 minutes. You can feel free to turn your cameras off for this work time. And just remember, if you keep up with it, it makes it a lot easier. So if you really use this time right now to get some of those things done, you'll be in great shape for the end of year reviews that are coming up for May. And we're here if anybody needs help with anything.
Melissa, could you put me and Marisha in a breakout room together, please, so that we can work on our plans together?
Yes.
Ooh, I was gonna ask the same. Can you put me with Teal, please?
If you all would just give me like 2 seconds and leave me in this room because I have some questions about my plan, but I do need like 2 seconds.
Tracy, can you help with these breakout rooms?
Ashley, we'll get that date to you in just 1 second.
Tracy, do you have Marisha and Chelsea together? You're on mute, Tracy.
I'm working on that one right now.
Perfect, thank you.
Okie doke. Here we go. So I am, for one, excited about this next little piece, the sneak peek at the mentor program plan for next year. So Melissa and I have worked together and worked pretty hard based on your feedback. Next slide, I'll show you what's going to be new for this coming year. So Melissa and I sent out a survey, and based on y'all's feedback, we have revised the plan. The feedback was clear that you guys wanted the program plan shared with you in August. So that's why you're not getting the entire plan today, just the sneak peek. So you'll get the entire plan shared in August. We'll also be sending out a survey later this month for feedback around the mentor contact meetings, mentor support, mentor contact support, that kind of thing a little bit later on. So that you'll have a chance to give us feedback on that as well. So a few changes for the mentor program plan. Component 2 from this year has been completely removed. Please continue to build relationships among BTs and mentors when appropriate. That'll most likely fall within your regularly scheduled meetings and or support. In place, we have moved the mentor incentive piece from component 4 to component 2. We also added an exemplar and an idea document for that particular component. So just to reiterate, this component is for doing things specifically for mentors that will show them that you care about them and appreciate them. This will help us ensure that mentors feel valued, even though we don't get to pay them anymore. So finally, in component 3 and in component 4, the August meeting tab has been removed, as most were just copying the orientation slides from the August meeting tab. So now it starts in September. We've added some more clear steps and the formatting has been changed. We have also added a differentiated tab in both component 3 and component 4, where you will have an opportunity if you have 3 or fewer BTs, that you will have a slightly modified version of the plan to complete. So we heard that loud and clear over the course of this year, that those schools that had the smaller numbers were struggling on the methods that we were asking them to use. So we provided some different options there for those folks. In addition, next slide, please. So these changes, in addition to these changes, we wanted to make you aware of some upcoming jam sessions that will answer some questions regarding NTX orientation. So you have a flyer in your handout if you would like to take a look at that, and it'll give you the different dates that you can attend. But we wanted you to have a chance before the end of the year to become familiar with the expectations around NTX orientation. Renee and Toria mentioned a little bit about it earlier. We want you to become aware of the expectations because so many of you aren't here when that occurs in early, excuse me, in early August. So we wanted you to have an opportunity to kind of ask questions, play around with that stuff now, so that when you do come in August, you know that whoever's going to be doing that for you or that work in the building knows what they need to do and can get you the information in order to upload it into your mentor program plan. There are a number of sessions in this flyer that you can choose from. And again, that flyer is in your handout. All right. That takes care of the meeting for today. We just want to say thank you for your ongoing attendance in these meetings. We've enjoyed the time together and look forward, as always, to next year. We'll communicate that information as we get it. Have a fantastic, fantastic summer. Do not leave because we do have this survey that acts as your attendance. So we want to make sure you have credit for being here today. So please, Melissa's going to drop the link in the chat box for you to complete the survey before you log off, please. Once you log off, it's hard to remember to come back and do it. So take a quick moment and just do that before you leave. And I want a quick reminder, if you're in this meeting and you are a new mentor contact, Melissa and I, along with Torianne, do a session from 1 to 2 for new mentor contacts, just to answer questions, support you guys in whatever way you might need as you're first becoming familiar with this role. So know that if you are a new mentor contact, you can log back on to this same bit.ly, the same Zoom session at 1 o'clock, and we can help support you. So feel free to do that. It looks like if we're asking to re-share the handout, Melissa, maybe if you can drop
Yeah,
that
I'll go
down.
ahead and grab it right now.
Yeah, thanks.
Mhm. Thank you all for being here today.
Have a fantastic summer. Think of us, we'll be working. Just had to say that.
We get to work.
We get to work, yay!
Mindset, everything.
Absolutely.
Tony, he said, I'm not changing my background because this is what I'm going to do all summer. And he had his work background up. And I was like, oh, yeah, but I'm going to have weekends and enjoy the beach and a book.
I watched this ridiculous show on Netflix, which I won't state the name of in front of our guests, but I'll tell you guys later. And in it, one of the main characters goes to a mindset coach because she has a hard time just like seeing things certain ways. But I just think that'd be good for everybody because everybody gets into that slump of like, oh, I have to. I do too. But I thought that was cool. Like a mindset coach is a real thing.
It's going to be my retirement job.